Hi, I'm Brock Archer. Welcome to Extrication Minutes, every Tuesday on fire engineering. This week, we're going to talk about getting the most out of your hydraulic cutters. With vehicle construction features changing rapidly, we're finding more and more vehicles built with ultra-high strength steels. This is challenging our power rescue cutters at incidents. I'm going to talk with you now about how to get the most out of your power rescue cutters at your incidents. So let's start by looking at how the cutter is designed, and the blades specifically. As we move away from the nut of the tool towards the tip of the blade, the cutting strength becomes less. It's leverage working against the tool. So the strongest cutting point on our hydraulic rescue cutters is going to be deep into the cutters, as close to the nut of the cutters as we can possibly get. The further out we get towards the tip of the cutters, the less cutting strength that we have. So it's really important when we go to make a cut on a vehicle, we try not to tip load those cutters. We want to get that cutter sunk as deep as we possibly can, get that material as close to the nut of the cutters as we can before making the cut. The other thing that's often overlooked is pressure buildup time. Hydraulic tools require time to build up the pressure required in the cylinder to make the cut or the spread or to extend the ram. It often doesn't require a long time for us to make a cut with a cutter, but sometimes it requires everything that the hydraulic pump has to offer in regards to pounds per square inch pushing on that cylinder. So we want to make sure that we allow for appropriate pressure buildup time. Let's talk about how it works. What I like to say is wait 8 full seconds. With a 100-foot hose at 10,500 psi, or even on the lower pressure stuff, we want to wait that full 8 seconds for pressure to build up completely in the tool before we give up. So what is that 8 seconds? Where does it start? Well, the 8 seconds starts when the tool stops moving. So if you're making a cut, say on the B pillar of a vehicle, and the tool blades stop moving, at that point, we need to wait 8 full seconds for pressure to build up in order to determine whether or not that cutter will make the cut. All too often, we engage the tool, the blades stop moving, and then we give up on our cut. We haven't even come close to reaching the maximum pressure available for that tool. So give that tool time to build up. Another thing we have to keep in mind is, say we've engaged the tool, the blades have stopped, and now we're counting our 8 full seconds, waiting for that pressure to build up. If you release the handle or release the button of the tool, all of that pressure dumps back into the fluid reservoir on the pump, and we've got to start over. So if you release the handle or if you release the button of the tool, we've got to start over and wait for that 8 seconds again. So make sure you're allowing for tool pressure buildup when you're making your cuts on ultra high strength steel or anything that challenges your cutters. We also want to keep in mind that in cases where we have long hose reels, our pressure buildup times may increase. So think about that. If you've got a 150 or a 200-foot hose reel that you're pulling your tools off of the engine with, we want to allow for some more pressure buildup time. If it's 200 feet, I'd give it 12 or 15 seconds of pressure buildup time. Again, after the tool stops. So how do we get the most out of our cutters? Well, we sink the cutter as deep as we can. We get that material as close to the nut of the cutter as we possibly can. We also want to allow for proper tool pressure buildup. As soon as the tool stops making the cut, there's no more motion, we want to count to at least 8 seconds to allow that tool to build its appropriate pressure, and hopefully it'll then make the cut. We often find that it'll take 5 or 6 seconds of the tool sitting idle before it finally cracks through that ultra high strength steel that we're trying to cut. Thanks for watching this week's Extrication Minutes video. Again, visit advancedextrication.com for more training information and subscribe to our YouTube channel for YouTube exclusive videos. I'm Brock Archer. Take care. Be safe.